Hello everybody, I'm Nora Burrows. I am ready to finish the center part of this fish quilt over here. I'm pointing because you can kind of see it on the ground over there. So let's get to that, but first I want to show you some blocks from 2 block exchanges that I'm participating in my guild. One of the block exchanges I'm leading, which is the Halloween quilt block exchange, and then the other one is a bird applique, as I mentioned in my video yesterday. So let me explain the bird one first. The woman leading the bird exchange, she made 6 of these kind of bird templates. I think she made these up. And so there's 3 people in the exchange, including myself, which is kind of a small group, but it's nice. So I need to make 3 birds, 3 of each bird. So for example, the one I held up was number 2. I need to make 3 number 2s. The other guidelines is that the birds need to be on a white on white background. Here, I'll show you one. This is one that I did. It's a white on white. You can see there's like stars there, I think. But it's white on white. And the reason for this is because the person leading the exchange, she has been dyeing the fabric after the applique is put on, and I'll show you an example of that. And when you dye the fabric, it makes that white on white pop. So whatever the image is on the background kind of pops off. So for the other one, the stars that I just showed you, the stars would really be more visible than they are just on white. So here's the one that she did, and you can see that the white on white was kind of these leafy bits here, and once you add color, the leaves really pop. Now, I don't think that I'm going to dye mine once the exchange is done and I have all of my blocks. I have some other ideas. I'm not really into dyeing fabric. I appreciate it when other people do it, but I just don't want to do it myself. But I've got ideas. So this is an exciting one. I've already received some blocks and given some blocks, but then tonight I have 3 blocks that I need to exchange. So tomorrow I'll show you the 2 that I get from the 2 other people in the exchange, but let me show you the ones that I have now. The other thing I forgot to mention, I want to show you 2 new books that came in the mail. They're not new, they're like super old, but I got them at Abe Books for very inexpensive. They're applique books, William Morris applique books. You may know William Morris fabric. So I'll give you a peek at those 2 books as well, but let's look at these bird blocks. Here's the block I just showed you. The woman leading the exchange did this one. I'll give you a closer look at her applique. I think she's using batik fabrics here. We've only done 1 set of exchanges, so for every exchange I will end up with 1 of my own blocks and 2 of other people's blocks. So this is hers, and then the other woman, her name is Muna. I asked to use her name so I can say her name, but Muna did this one, and she wasn't very happy with her applique, which I love this applique. I think it's really it's like a little wonky, but it's wonderfully wonky. This is kind of my favorite thing. So I love this. I love this one that Muna did, but then she also did a raw edge applique that she says she likes better. Now, technically, I think that this is, the points are more pointy and the curves are more evenly curved, but it's less interesting. I think that this one is just far more interesting in my opinion. So I love that. So that's Muna's. And the last one of this week, of the week that we exchanged, not this particular week, but is mine. And I used a little Tula Pink, and I don't know who the other designers are here, but you can see my white on white has these bees in the background, which are really kind of fun. So that was that week, and then these next ones are all my blocks because we haven't done the exchange yet. So we have 2 weeks worth of exchanges to do. So I have 6 blocks here. Let me show you this one first. So this one I think was the most successful. This is the one that I did last of this set. I think that the fabrics just pair really nicely together. They're kind of unexpected, but work well. So I love this one. This one is a little bit, red, white, and blue, patriotic-ish, I would say. Again, successful in my opinion. The background here is kind of a what do you call this? Like let me find one. I don't know, decorative print. So there's that. Now this one, my wing got a little wonky. So you see this one, the wing is like that. And this one, the wing is a little wonky, but I don't care. I think it's totally fine. It doesn't look great, but whatever. Basically how we do the exchange is we put these 3 out, we put our 3 blocks out, and then you know, somebody will pick one, somebody will pick the other, and then whoever made the blocks will take the last one. So I'll probably end up with this one, which is totally fine. And then one more set to show you. I love this one. I think this is so cute, and look how I fussy cut. Not even cute, this is like sophisticatedly lovely or something like that, but I love the little fussy cut piece right there, and these fabrics are great. This I think is a French General, don't quote me on that, but I've used this so much. I've used this in so many projects. Here's my next one, also lovely. This one is a batik. This one is a Anna Maria Horner, and I don't know what that is up there. This one is on the stars. A little set of green, again, the fussy cut little diamond up there. Oh, and I ended up doing 4 of these. So I have this one, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 because, so I'm gonna keep this one. I put the bird on the wrong side. So the stars are actually come through on the back. And so I didn't know how that would work with the dyeing if other people wanted to dye it. So I'll keep this one, and then I'll keep one other one, whichever one of these doesn't get taken. But that's the bird exchange. The other block exchange I'm participating in, I'm actually participating in additional ones, but we'll talk about those another time. But the one that I'm going to talk about today is the Halloween quilt block exchange, and I'm actually leading that one. And that one was a little bit funny because I don't have a lot of experience in block exchanges, though I've suddenly kind of become obsessed with them. But I don't really know what I'm doing, and so I'm leading this one. And I said, let's do a 9 patch, a Halloween 9 patch, and let's always put the dark one in the upper left-hand corner, so that it goes dark light, dark light, dark light, dark light, dark light when you put all of the blocks together. So for round 1, everybody made their blocks. Everybody had to, I think there's 5 people in the group, so you make 5 blocks every other week. So everybody made their 5 blocks, and then as I was like laying mine out, I was like, this doesn't make the checkerboard. Like the 9 patch is a checkerboard, but if you put the 9 patches next to each other, it doesn't work. Let me see if I can show you what I mean. So for example, if you have a 9 patch of dark, and this one is pretty great, isn't it? I did not make this one, this is part of the exchange. But if you have a 9 patch of dark, and then you put it up against another 9 patch, right? The 2 darks touch, and the 2 lights touch. So I realized that like right before the meeting, and I was like, darn, like that's not great, right? And it all worked out. Like we just ended up doing some light ones in the corner, and people were very flexible. But it's kind of funny because I feel like it doesn't really get much easier than the 9 patch, and I'm like, 9 patch, Halloween, how difficult can it be? And then it was more difficult than I thought. But let me show you these blocks. They're really fun. This is kind of a youthful, so these ones are the ones that I made that I'm exchanging this week. Kind of a youthful one. I feel like this might be glow in the dark, but I don't know for sure. This next one is a more sophisticated one, and again, we kind of go around and people pick which ones they want, and then I'm left with the last one that I've made. And same with somebody else. Somebody else will put theirs all down, we all pick, and then the person who made it is left with the one remaining. This one I think will be very popular. I love, you know, it has the Halloween right in the middle. This one is, you know, one of my favorites. And then this, you know, plaid is also in this one here. These are supposed to be like candies. And this is from a charm pack, a Halloween charm pack that I got. And I made placemats out of it. I have a video on that. What is it called? Let me look. It's called Charm Pack, shoot, I forgot. It's called Charm Pack Placemats Easy is what it's called. And this was part of that charm pack that I didn't use in that placemat video. Anyway, I made some other ones with the same charm pack. These squares, the novelty squares, are from that same charm pack. Same with this one. They're supposed to be the little trick-or-treaters. So cute. This is also from that charm pack. And then finally. And if you want to know what specifically that charm pack is, I say it at the beginning of that placemat video. And then this is really fun, isn't it? And I kind of, this, as much as I love this one, and I do love this one, I didn't really follow my own directions because it's not really light and dark. I mean, I guess you'd consider this to be dark, but this really, it's not dark, but it doesn't matter. And then people are very flexible in this exchange. Nobody really cares about anything. And then this one is fun. It has the purple skulls and then the jack-o'-lanterns with the candy corn. This one again is kind of a little more youthful. Let me show you the exchanges. So these are all blocks that I made, but let me show you ones that we've exchanged in past weeks that include ones that other people made. So these are all just so great. It just puts such a big smile on my face. I think that they're all kind of like funny in some way, but I love this one. And then in terms of what to do once I get all my pieces, so I think I'm gonna end up with 30 blocks at the end, so I can do a quilt of 5 by 5, but I could do something like a disappearing 9 patch where you cut down the middle and the center and then you rotate two of the corners. And so it would make it look even, you know, more scrappy. And what I could do is if I do the disappearing 9 patch with all of them, not only would I rotate 2, but I could mix up the pieces. So that might be neat, but I don't know. I also kind of just love them. Like if you look at them just next to each other, they're kind of amazing, just like all next to each other. So I'll have to decide once I get them back what I want to do. I could also put them all together and then do some kind of like large applique, like a big black cat or something like that. I don't know. But that's that one. I love it. This one, the eyes are, I don't know if there's a direction to this, but the eyes are glow in the dark, which is so fun. Love it. This is a little bit more, like it wouldn't necessarily have to be Halloween, right? This is just kind of 2 batiks together. It could be fall, but very Halloween-y, obviously, with the black and the orange. This one, somebody else made this one, but it's funny because I used this same cat fabric in one that I made, so you'll see the cat fabric again later on. But I do also love, this fabric is super cool. These are also batiks, but it's the spiderweb batiks. Very modern in my opinion. This person went totally crazy and I love it. There's nothing really symmetrical about it. I mean, there is in a sense, but it's incredibly random. This is probably one of my favorite blocks, even though I think some people might be like, that's a really strange 9 patch when everybody else is like, this one is one I made where it's very like predictable, you know? This one is like very unpredictable and weird, and I love it. And I think that the fabrics chosen to go together, these 4 fabrics, really good. This is one that I made, and I always think of purple for Halloween, so I did this purpley fabric, and then these are just so fun. Let's take a closer look at these little trick-or-treating bears. Is that not just the cutest thing you've ever seen? They're so happy to be out getting their candy. This is another one that I made. You know, it's fine. I didn't follow the directions here really. Again, these are not really like light and dark. They're kind of the same color tone, but maybe I'm not very good at this block exchange thing. I don't know. I just kind of do whatever I want. This one is, again, not super Halloween-y. It really could go in anything, but it's it goes with the aesthetic of the overall quilt, as opposed to this one, which is super, you know, it just yells Halloween, super Halloween. But like if you put these ones next to each other, they look great. They're like so different, but so great. So very Halloween-y. So if I did the disappearing 9 patch, you know, where you're cutting, this guy would get cut in half, which I don't know. I mean, maybe that would be kind of interesting, but no, he would get cut in half and get cut across, but maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know. This is one of my favorites. This is really fun. She must have just like collected all of these light, or maybe this was a charm pack. Maybe she had it. I bet this was initially a charm pack, or maybe she just collected, you know, light and dark prints. This is another one that I made. I think this one is pretty successful, actually. I think that's really cool. And I used this fabric, even though this wasn't part of the charm pack, I did use this fabric in that placemat video. And then here's another one similar to similar to this one, but a little bit different. Again, this one isn't, you know, super Halloween-y, but it goes really well. It just makes, I think when everything comes together and all the pieces come together, these 9 patches will kind of simmer everything down. So instead of everything being so like yelly and Halloween and kind of like screaming at you with the novelty prints, these kinds of ones, same with this one, will kind of, and this is the last one, these ones will kind of just hone everything down a bit, which is great. So I do the next exchange in 2 weeks, so you won't see these tomorrow, but you will see my new bird ones tomorrow. The other thing I wanted to show you were these William Morris applique books. This one, I think, so I got both of these on Abe Books, A-B-E Books, and this one was, I think, like $16, and then this one I think was like $5 maybe, free shipping. And actually, I was going to say that I like this one better, but I actually like them both for different reasons. This one is a little bit more like history. So I don't know if you know William Morris fabrics, but they're kind of, that's him, that's William Morris. But he was designing in the 1800s, and like, okay, so this is one that they've reprinted that you may recognize that fabric. I actually have some of that fabric in a different colorway. But so that's his fabric. So this book is kind of trying to do some applique in the same kind of style as William Morris. There's another one of his prints. This is less typical of him. I think this might be one of his earlier ones maybe. Here's one of the projects, and here's one. There's another one, and then the templates are all in the back here that you pull out of the book. There's a bird. So I'm excited for this, and then I'm incredibly excited for this one. Even though this applique, the way that they do it, it's going to be more difficult because I think you kind of have to take the pages out. So, for example, to do this block here, they've chopped it so that this piece is on page 28, this piece is on page 29. So if you go to 28 and 29, there's 28 and 29, but you kind of have to take the pages out to fit them together because like some of these, you know, go in between the pages. So this is a little bit like more tricky in terms of how they've designed the book, but I really like some of the quilts that they've made the applique for. And this one is another William Morris inspired. That one's really great, isn't it? And so then it shows you the pages, and then there's the start of it, right? Does that make sense? Anyway, I'm excited for those. Let's finish up this quilt. I want to have that center part totally done, including I want to do a little border, a 1.5 inch border of that brown fabric, the same brown that's on the inside of that sashing. You'll see what I mean, but I want included in my goal for today is to do a 1.5 border around the full outside. Let's do it. It's a little hard to see because the brown strips are very close to the wood floor, but if you look closely, you can see kind of some of these units I've sewn together. So this is all sewn together here. These two are, so on and so forth, and anywhere you can see the floor obviously is not sewn together. So what I'm going to do is create a big unit of these 4 blocks here. Then I'll create a unit of these 2 down here and a unit of these 3. Then I'll sew the 4 blocks to the 2 blocks, so this will all be one piece, and then I can sew this piece and this piece together and then add my border. I have my 3 big units created here. The 4 piece up here, the 2 piece down here, and then this long one, the 3 piece. So I need to put those 3 pieces together. Again, I'll put these 2 together first and then connect this full unit with this full unit. That's as far as I got today. Unfortunately, that's as far as I got today. I was really hoping to finish that full middle section and I didn't, but that's okay. We'll finish it tomorrow. Plus we're gonna do a couple of other things. Thank you for joining me. I've got to run out to my guild meeting. I can't wait to exchange those blocks. Oh, I did want to tell you real quick, the authors of these two books because I don't think I said. So this one is Rosemary Makhan, M-A-K-H-A-N, and then this one is Michelle Hill, M-I-C-H-E-L-E, last name Hill. Thank you for joining me. Please subscribe. I'll see you next time tomorrow. Bye.